Another way to use a graduated filter is to enhance the colors that are already located in a photograph, like with this particular photograph that I captured in Santa Barbara of the sunrise. So let's go ahead and press the M key to open up the graduated filter. Now what I'm going to do here is simply click and drag, and here you can see I have my adjustment. What I'm interested in doing is making a change here. So I'll go ahead and increase the contrast, increase the clarity, a little bit of sharpness. And you can see that the adjustment is taking place wherever I drag this. Now currently, it's just bringing out a little bit of the detail there. So I'm going to bring this up near the top and then drag out this transition just a touch there. And then I'll also rotate this just so it fits that particular view of the horizon. Next step is to enhance the color saturation. So I'm going to exaggerate this a touch, but here you can see that I'm really bringing out some of the colors. I can remove color or I can add color. Now it's tricky to find the sweet spot, and a lot of times what we'll want to do is find a spot where it looks good and then click to add a little bit of color, and we can add a little bit of yellow here. We could also experiment with adding some blue so we have the contrast of the blue and the yellow. That looks really nice, and then close that. Alright, so far so good. Well, what about top down? What about the sunrise up here? Well, one of the techniques that I like to use in order to make a new selection is to press the M key once, then press the M key again. Now here I'm going to go ahead and click and drag, and I'm going to create an overlapping adjustment. So in order to illustrate this, you can see it's affecting the sky and then all the way down here into the foreground. Alright, well let's reset the exposure. Let's do that by double clicking the triangle. Now in this particular case, I'm going to work on the saturation. I'm just going to bring this up a bit. I'm also going to add a little bit of color here. How about adding some red or something along those lines? Again, just a little touch of red there. And sometimes what you can find is that just adding a little bit of a hue can really help out just a bit there, bringing out some of those yellows and those bright colors that we have there. Click the X in order to close that. Now, of course, how far you go with this is completely up to you. And it's also completely up to you in regards to the intent of the photograph. Is it a little bit more of an illustration? Are you trying to draw out some of the colors that are there to help it match your experience? And in this case, that's what I'm trying to do. All right, well, let's look at the before and after with these adjustments. Here we have our before and then our after. Now, the only other thing you may want to do at this point is to go to the basic panel and just swing these adjustments one way or another. We could make this overall a little bit more cool, or we could make this overall a little bit more warm. Now with the stylized adjustments we've done on top of this, I think it looks kind of nice to just go a little bit more cool there. We can see I've added a few points of a cooler color temperature. I'm also going to add a little bit of a tint of red here, so take out some of that green. So this adjustment then adds to the overall look of the photograph. Press the backslash key. That will show you the overall before and then after. And at this juncture, if you ever determine anything you've done has been a little bit over the top, with your white balance, you can reset that by simply clicking on Custom and then choosing As Shot. And there we can see how the photograph was without that added color temperature. Or in my case, I'm going to go ahead and bring a little bit of that back because I think that looks nice. Just a touch of it there. And then in regards to our different adjustments here, if you want to make changes, all you need to do is to click on the node, hold down the Option key on a Mac, Alt key on a PC, click and drag to the left to remove it, click and drag to the right to exaggerate it or to bring it out. And again, you can find the sweet spot there. Click on the other adjustment, and with the Option key on a Mac, Alt key on a PC, click and drag one way or another until you find the desired spot where you think your photograph looks its best.